So it's July 8th. I go back to school August 13th. So obviously started prepping to like get ready for school. So one of the things this year, so this video is gonna be kind of like a back to school haul and advice, because I'm gonna be a junior, which is, ugh, I hate that. Okay, but so basically this is gonna be a back to school haul. I got a new backpack this year because my old one was like slowly like sinking because I'm kind of a hoarder. So I'm very over prepared, so I had to, like, it would sink, so I had to get a new backpack, but I'm donating my old one because it's Swiss Army and those are expensive. So but I got this backpack. It's a hippity hickaroo Pragar. I got it off of Amazon. It was like 20 bucks. Okay, so let's look at some of the stuff I did on it. So I have some of these charms. This is my school charm. We're not gonna look at that. Have this Kansas charm that I got from Rally House. Has like a tornado on it because I'm from Kansas. This little button came with it. I got this at this art museum. This also came with the bag. A K-State button that I also got from Rally House. This little charm I made. Another oh my gosh, this is so hard to see. Like a little milk bottle thing that came with the bag, and then a Polaroid I took of myself recently, and then I have this little bow here. Hold on, I need to double tie it. I have this little bow on my bag. I'm gonna just take this off because I don't have to deal with like exposing my school. Okay, let's get into the bulk of it. The thing is, I don't know when I get my schedule or my Chromebook, so I'm really waiting to like label everything and organize it like properly and see what I'm actually gonna bring with me to school. But I have my ruler. I've had this for years. Metal pink works. I have this accordion folder that it's a Mead from 5 Star. Really nice accordion folder. I got it last year. I didn't use it much last year besides to put like old papers in it. But I had a different accordion folder before it, but I needed to get a new one because that one was like old, like it was old. But this is really high quality, holds up. I was just like, I need to reuse it and it'll save so much space. I have like some blank sheets of paper backup, and it has like a lot of different space. I highly recommend it if you're a freshman or if you're a sophomore and you are the type of person where you don't know where all your stuff is. I tend to be very organized, but I like having this. And even then, because you know, like some teachers, they'll give you like more paper, like you get a notebook or like a binder and you think you're gonna write a lot of your stuff down, but they just give you the notes, like handout notes to take, or they give you more paper than you would expect. Have one of these, and then it's also good for like at the end of the semester and you have like next classes in your next semester and you want to like take out the papers you have in your binder and put them somewhere because you don't have anyone to put them somewhere. Put them in this, and then you can go like at the end of the year, you can really go through and organize all your papers, because that's what I do. I rather just put them in here, wait till like the end of the year, and then go through all the papers, because sometimes I keep them. Like I have a whole box dedicated to keeping like papers, like all the way from like middle school. So it really depends. Mainly like sciences and history, and like math. I keep a few stuff like as cheat sheets, but a lot of the time I just end up throwing them away eventually. Like I did a huge clean out this year of all the papers I had. So but I would suggest having an accordion folder, because then if you want to organize and keep it later, and if you have like all year classes, like if you take like an AP class, which aren't that bad, okay, if you take an AP class, it's not, especially an AP history class, it's not going to be that bad. Most of it you will get like your notes handed out, so recommend this. And also, there's so much advice for AP classes. Trust me, you will be fine. And as someone who took an AP class their freshman year and their sophomore year, it's the main thing you'll learn is how to be a boss at essays. That's it. But you don't have to worry about that. And then like studying for the exam, you don't have to do that for a while. As long as you keep all your notes, and you at least do a month of studying before, a month or like a month and a half of studying before the exam comes up, and you will also do like practice in class, you will be fine. And as long as you're paying attention and asking a lot of questions, you will be fine, okay? And most of what you're learning is through like the actual work and not through like your lectures, okay? The lectures and your notes are gonna give you very little information. Most of it is gonna be through like the assignments that you're given, which would be like document reading, essays, short answers, projects, stuff like that. That's where you're gonna be learning a majority of the stuff that you will learn in your AP class. And the 2 AP teachers I've had, chill dudes, okay? They're very chill. So if you know your AP teacher is gonna be very chill, obviously ask around, but they'll tend to be very chill. And there's a lot of work, but it's not that hard. It really is not that hard. You're in an AP class for a reason. Trust me, it's not. And if it's really that bad and you don't feel like you can keep up with the work, or you feel like you're really not understanding it, you can always drop out of the class early. Do it early, like your first week of school. If it's like the first 2 weeks, they tend to like let you drop out of the class early. If it's like October, you're not gonna be able to drop out of the class that easy, and unless you have a reason. But yeah, so I have an accordion folder. This is what will keep you organized, so you don't have to have a million different folders. And this is mainly to just dump your crap in, okay? I do have an extra one though. I may not bring this with me, and to be honest, this may be for, I don't know what this will be for, but I have an extra one. I have like 3 of these extra 5 stars that I got last year that I really didn't use, besides like one, and I put that on like my binder, but I'm not bringing a binder this year. So I have this and this, so I have like extra organization, but this may depend like on a class. I don't know. I just have this in my bag. Like, I'm just, all the school supplies that I got, I'm just gonna keep them in my backpack until I get my schedule, and then I will like organize which I'm keeping in and out my bag. And I'm trying to bring less stuff than I did last year, because last year was actually like the minimal of stuff that I brought, but my backpack was still too heavy, and I'm trying to keep it easy for me. So, and also it's raining, so be wary of like bad lighting. And then we got the notebooks. Okay, these are the Sunny notebooks. I didn't know they were 70 pages, and as someone who loves handwriting all her notes, that doesn't work. It just does not work. I got 5 of these notebooks. I have a 6th notebook that is on the way. It's a composition notebook, and it has like sharks on it, which is cool, but that has more pages, and these don't have enough pages. But I decorated each of them. I had a little flamingo sticker, a little bow, a little owl sticker, pearls, stuff like that. You know, I wanted to keep the decorations very simple, because knowing me, it's not gonna be very fun losing my stuff. But also, it's like, I can just, they're cute. I needed to do something. Motivation. But yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna organize any of them until I get my schedule. So and the thing is, how my school does it, I don't know if it's my whole state or if it's just my district or just my school, I have no idea. But how it is you have 8 classes the total of the year, but you have 4 classes per semester. And if you take an AP class, that means you have technically like 7 classes your entire year. Okay, so but how it is, so it's like I'll have like, I'm not taking any AP classes this year, mainly because I was gonna take AP US history. I was gonna take APUSH, but I did not hear anything good about the teachers, or I don't know if it was the AP US history teachers in general or if it was specifically the AP teachers, but I just heard like people did not do well on their exams. A lot of them got fired. I don't know, a lot of them. I didn't really hear good stuff, so I was like, I'm just gonna take CP and see how, which is course prep if you don't know. So I was like, I'm just gonna take that, get it over with, because it's a required. And basically, also for clarification, it's like you do 8 classes per year, and so you need 24 credits to graduate, and like there's different requirements, but you need 24 credits to graduate, but you're taking like almost 32 classes the entire year of high school. But most people, like on senior year, they have like maybe 3 classes their first semester and then like 1 or 2 their second semester. But if you're a freshman or a sophomore, understand that whatever classes you take, especially if you're an honor roll student like I am, if you're an honor roll student, know your limits. Some of your classes you're gonna want to take course prep, which is like to prep for like AP or like honors history. Take CP classes if they're available to you, and if you're but majority of your classes will be honors. Like I took honors biology 1 in my freshman year because it's required to take biology, but I took like and then I took algebra 2 my sophomore year, and I did geometry CP my freshman year because I had took algebra 1 in like 8th grade. So depending on your middle school, and if you already had those classes available, like English 1 or English or algebra 1, if you had those available to you early, then it'll be easy for you. But I will say, if you are taking algebra 1 or algebra 2, whatever, if you're taking algebra 1, save all the stuff you have from algebra 1, okay? That is it. Save all the stuff you have from algebra 1 because you're gonna need it in algebra 2. Literally, I barely remembered most of the stuff I learned in algebra 1 because my teacher was shit. She was shit. But when I took algebra 2, my teacher was he was a bit better, but I forgot a lot of the stuff, and it was hard to remember some stuff. Some of the stuff I was able to pick back up on instinctively, but some of it I did not. So I would highly suggest, if you already took algebra 1 or you are taking algebra 1, save whatever you have. You may want to throw it out, but save whatever you have, and or take like, just write down like all the formulas you learned throughout the year. Just write them on like one sheet and like maybe one practice problem with it. Do that, and then just keep those like cheat sheets, so that way you have that in your algebra 2 year, so that way you're good. But that's what I highly suggest. And then English, when it comes to like English classes, I took English 3 CP this year, and I'm taking English 4 I think next year, but this upcoming year. So I just have to say, for your English classes, it really depends on your teacher, but please do your reading. I highly suggest. If you don't do your reading, you're gonna be screwed. But But the thing is, like, a lot of your stuff, you may think SparkNotes helps. SparkNotes does help, but do not use AI to do everything for you when it comes to your English class. Trust me, you will fail. You will fail. They will notice. It's not going to be good. And the last thing you want is plagiarism. The last thing you want is that. So I really say, you don't even if you don't read the entire chapter, glaze over it. Literally just read over it real quick, go over with the SparkNotes, get some ideas of the themes that other people are picking up on, and then try and find something within the text yourself that you can add on, so it makes it seem like you actually did it. You know, I'll go more in depth with like tips later, but and if the audio quality is bad, I'm not refilming this, sorry. But those were my first notebooks, and then I have to wait my other notebook because it's coming from Amazon. But I also got these smaller notebooks because since these have like 70 pages per notebook, which is not gonna last me an entire semester. It's gonna last me maybe a month, but it's not gonna last me an entire semester. I got these have like a few more pages. They're very small, but they have like at least a lot more pages to work with. And then I also have like my spare paper. So my plan is, with these notebooks, I just focus like purely on notes, like purely put notes in these notebooks. And then with like, when it comes to like, if I have to do like a math sheet and I need like spare paper to work on like my math problems, I'll use that rather than like tear it out my notebook, because that would just get very frustrating and time consuming and I won't have any paper. Because I remember last year when I was taking my algebra 2 class, it was my first semester. It was first semester of school. I took my algebra 2 and I had this big, like this nice 5-star notebook, had plenty of pages. I used up the entire notebook to the point where I had to get extra paper because I would tear out the pages to write, like to do my worksheets on and everything. Like, so I highly suggest, don't it's like, if you are like that where you take a lot of notes, because I take a lot of notes. I take a lot of notes. But if you take a lot of notes and you know that you also will be the person to tend to like tear out pieces of paper of your notebook and then get frustrated because you don't have enough room for notes and all that. And it really depends on your classes. Like most science classes, like no matter the science class, they will print out your notes for you. Most teachers, they will print out the notes for you and they'll be like fill in the blank. And they'll print out, most teachers are going to print out your worksheets, but for like notes, a lot of them will print out notes for you and you just fill in the blank or you write out the notes. So it's good to have like folders and all that. But some teachers, they want you to write all the notes, and or you personally want to write out all the notes for like lecture slides and everything. So, but I highly suggest that if you're a person like that wants to write out all their notes, or you're in a class that requires you to write out all the notes, that you focus on getting a good notebook that has a lot of pages and or multiple notebooks for that class, and then have spare paper that you can like do extra stuff on to, you know, but your main priority should not be, you know, but if you have a class that already gives you handout notes, mainly focus on putting somewhere to put those notes, be it a binder, be it a folder like my accordion folder, whatever. But yeah, so those were my notebooks. This is my pencil bag. This has all my school supplies. I have mechanical pencils in here. Like, I'm not gonna dump everything, but I got my favorite pens. I got the Energel liquid pens. I love these. I'm a 0.7 girl. Sorry. People may hate me for that, but I'm a 0.7 girl. I got the Pilot G2 and 0.7. Got obviously the Papermate 0.7 mechanical pencils, and then I believe, yeah, and then these are the Bic 0.7 mechanical pencils. I love these, they're good. I needed backup pencils because people always ask to borrow your pencils. It's the oldest trick in the book. Anytime you watch a back to school video, they always say have extra pencils because people love to borrow your pencils. No, people will literally love to borrow your pencils. And not even that, you will lose your pencils. Okay, I had my friend, she had used one pencil the entire year for herself, and then she lost it like briefly. She'd like forgotten to bring it to school. You don't want to be that person. You don't, even if you use like the same pencil every day, you may forget like your lead, or you may run out of lead, so you need to have like a backup. You know, or you lose your most wanted one, so then you have to find your other most wanted one, most used one, and then all of that. So it's like if I lose the green one, I can't use the pink one. But people will want to borrow your mechanical pencils. Always say, if I'm giving this to you, you gotta give it back. Some people, they're not gonna give it back still, even if you say that, but majority say, hey, if you're gonna use this, give it back to me after class, you know? Sometimes, like, if I'm really nice and I know that they're not gonna have a pencil in their other class, or if they're really like, I'm so screwed, I can't find a pencil, I'm like, hey, you can keep it, okay? I have plenty of extra, don't worry. But most of the time, I'm like, give it back to me after class, or when you're done using it, whatever, until you can find something. And plenty of times teachers have pencils in their classroom, so trust me, you will be fine, okay? But be the kind person that gives someone a pencil when they need it. But one thing I will never do is let anyone use my pen. Unless you're doing a signature, you will never use my pens. Simple as that. I also have the zebra midlighter highlighters. I love these highlighters, they're so good. And yeah, but I have plenty of different pens. Like, y'all underestimate me on my pen game. I also have this Pilot Dr. Grip Gel pen, which I stole from my mom because she's a pen girl too. This is a really good pen. I love this pen. Oh, and I also have the Uniball pens too. I only have two, and I'm only bringing one of them to school, and then this one I use for my journal, but it's white. But these are such good pens for like if you really want to like write everything out. But I also have like markers, because you're gonna need to mark stuff. And then obviously pencil lead. I have so much pencil lead. I have like 4 packets full of pencil lead. Okay, so I'm gonna have lots of pencil lead this year, because the last thing I'd want. And then I also have this extra pencil that I love. It's the Twist Erase Pentel 0.7 pen. I don't have an eraser for it. Like, I have like this tiny one, but it's like broken off, and I don't have any lead in it yet. But I love these. These are super good for like if you want to do like very intricate writing and or sketching. But oh, this was the Uniball one I was talking about. But those are what's in my pencil case. But I have an extra compartment, hold on, that I'll show with my other stationery. The only other stationery I have to get for school is sticky notes and index cards, because I'm the person who needs to write stuff like super tiny sometimes in order to retain it. So, and I like making little cheat sheets. But this is the little area where I have my extra stationery. It's so sweet. Okay, again, my G2 and my Energels, my midliners, my erasable pen. Okay, this is the Frisson Clicker 0.7 erasable pen. These are a lifesaver. No matter the grade you're in, no matter the profession you want to go into, no matter what class you do, you need an erasable pen. It doesn't care about the barrel, okay? And the thing is, you can buy refills online. You can buy refills, which some I have, okay? This may be blue, but I can literally just take the blue ink out and replace it, and I'm good, okay? That's the thing. You're good, okay? These are good, simple. You just click, you write, and then you erase. And these are especially good if you do take like a history class or in English class, hear me out, or any class, but especially I love using these when annotating, because you know sometimes like English teachers, they give you like a worksheet, or like a history teacher, they give you a worksheet and they say you can write on it, but you need to annotate it. Like say it's like a poem, you gotta annotate it, or say it's like a document, you gotta annotate it. So my tip is you take an erasable pen to do all your annotations. Okay, so say I have like a document. Okay, I have a document about like for the Revolutionary War, and it's, you know, like it's some guy like it's a Thomas Jefferson document. Okay, he's writing about something, it's like a brief paragraph. I need to read this thing. So how do I read it? I'm not understanding it because it's in Old English, and most of us can't read Old English. So let me read it 4 to 5 times. Read it 4 to 5 times. You may think that's stupid. No. Read, because sometimes you read something and then you aren't retaining it. No, reread it 4 to 5 times. Okay, gloss over it the first time, really try to read it the second time, try to really read it again the third time, the fourth and the fifth time are the times where you just take your pen and you start underlining. You start underlining something. Okay, be it that, say it's like a sentence you're specifically confused on what he's talking about, or it's something you're assured that you understand now. Underline it and then draw a little arrow and start taking notes on what you think he's trying to say. Okay, write what you're thinking they're trying to say on the little document. Okay, this is only if you have permission, like it's a personal document to you. This is not for if it's a class set. Write what you're thinking, write what you think he's saying, and then go back and like just start writing about your thoughts on it. And usually by this time, as you're picking apart the words, picking apart the fragments of the paragraph, you will start coming to an idea. And if you have to write about that paragraph now, what you read in that paragraph, well, guess what? You have all these notes on it that you can take. And if you make a mistake, you just erase it. Or you erase the thought and then you write something different. Take an erasable pen, and these are great for annotations. Another thing for annotations, take a sticky note. This is like for if you're using a class set. So say it's your textbook, your class set textbook, your class set book, like in your English class, a class set document, whatever. Say you have this and you really need to read it, and you need to take notes on it, but you don't want to take out a whole piece of paper and write all these notes and not remember the pages, and you also don't have the time to do that. Take sticky notes. Okay, take sticky notes, like here, hold on, take a sticky note. Okay, what you're gonna do is take a sticky note. Say you're reading Animal Farm, okay, and you're writing a quote. What you do once you write this quote on, like, say it's like chapter 2, okay, you write a quote, then you write who wrote it. Say it's like Napoleon, who said it. You write the page, and then you take it and take your notebook, or you take a blank piece of paper, you stick it in there. You could do bullet points on like the notes you have. Do bullet points, like, it doesn't matter, you could do whatever you want, but this is how I annotate when it comes to class sets or take notes. I just do bullet points on a sticky note, or you could do it on an index card. I do that. I write the page number I took the notes on, like, or if it's multiple page numbers, I do like the little dash, like page 290 to 295. Do that, and I take that and I just put it on a blank sheet of paper, and I do that on multiple sticky notes, especially if you're reading through a chapter, whatever. I do that, and so then that way I can go back and I can add on to my ideas on that blank sheet of paper, and or I can take it and just start writing my ideas, like if I have to write a paragraph or an essay on those, so that way I have them all in one space, but also I'm not like taking up the book. And another thing is, because then you could just take it with you. You don't want to leave your ideas for someone in the next class to read them and then take them out the book and then they not be in there the next day when you're going to get more notes. Like, that would piss you off. So take, for your annotations, if you can't write on it, because I like writing in my books for my annotations, sorry, but unless it's your own personal copy, even then they want you to give it back sometimes. If you like, it's from the school but you get a personal copy, mainly that's for textbooks, but if you have like a personal copy of a book that you're reading, write in it. But if it's a class copy, use the sticky note method. It works so well. And the thing is, because you're trying to get it brief ideas on it, it works so much better. Trust me, it works. But I also have my eraser, and I have my expo marker. I have a Sharpie, because every time they're gonna be like, oh, label something with a Sharpie, I got a Sharpie. But that's pretty much it for my stationery. Now I have my kit, and before someone asks, these are Ipsy bags. My mom used to have a subscription, so yes, I'm using them for everything. This is the kit that is for safety precaution, okay? In high school, it's disgusting. I've never seen a clean high school. Trust me, my school is disgusting. And my biggest tips for high school in general, but especially, be healthy. Okay, people always say in these sort of videos, your hygiene is the most important thing. Your hygiene, yes, but hygiene is more than perfume and deodorant, okay? I have this packet of disposable masks that I got like back in the pandemic, barely unopened, like these are unopened, and I've had them in my backpacks every year since then. Because someone may be sick, someone may need a disposable mask, you may need it yourself. So I have those. I have a poncho, something I've kept since like the last hurricane in my area. Emergency poncho. Someone may forget their umbrella. You may forget your umbrella. You may have a cute outfit you don't want to get too wet. You may want your hair to not get wet. Reusable poncho. Yes. You do need a deodorant. You do need a deodorant that will sustain, but you also need something to cleanse yourself. If you're like me and you sweat a lot, like today I went on a walk, I was drenched in sweat. If you are taking PE especially, and you're someone who is really prone to sweating like heavily, get like wet ones or like wet wipes, whatever, something that you can like breeze up, clean up, dry off some of your sweat. And then you could also bring like a facial lotion if you choose to, and then you apply your deodorant in the areas that you just cleaned off, and then you apply your perfume or your cologne, whatever, and that's much more manageable. It's much more manageable if you're sweaty. And also, if you can, just bring some clothes, like if you're taking PE and you get your locker, because you usually get them on like, if you have them in like the locker rooms, if you get a locker and you can put your stuff away, get a pair of clothes, just pair of clothes you don't care about, and then just leave them in the locker, and then every like Friday you bring them home and wash them, and then you bring them back on Monday and you just leave them in your locker for when you do PE. Because at my school, if you have PE, you have it every day. If it's in your schedule, you have it every day, so you're doing it every day. You don't switch it off like you did in like elementary school. You have it every day. So I highly suggest you just bring clothes to change in. And what I do when it comes to PE, I love dressing up. I love dressing up for school, but I know that I can't do my super elaborate outfits that I would when I don't have PE in my schedule. I know I wouldn't do that. if I have PE, because if I choose to change. So if I choose to change, then I have to be able to have enough time to change in and out the clothes that I'm like wearing. So I wouldn't want to wear something super elaborate. So you may not have the cutest of outfits when you're taking PE, whichever semester you take it. But, and yes, I'm gonna admit this, I failed PE, not because I was bad at it, but because I missed a lot of school my freshman year. That's another thing. Don't miss that much school, okay? The biggest thing, keeping up your health is very important to being able to be consistent with school, because how my school work is basically, this is like a state thing, because I live in South Carolina. You have 5 excused absences and 5 unexcused per semester. So you have a total of 10 excused and 10 unexcused per semester. And the excused is like doctor's notes, parents' notes, and everything. And the only way you can make up the time is either tutoring or deficiency school, but you have to pay $10 for deficiency school. And you don't want to do deficiency school. That's the main thing. And if you miss too many hours, and the thing is, who's gonna do tutoring for PE? How would that even work? So my freshman year, I didn't even like do deficiency school for PE really, because it's like, how would I do that? So my freshman year, that was a big thing, trying to catch up in my attendance, and I did. But you don't want to get into truancy, because I did almost get into truancy and try to rebound myself. It was not fun. So if you can, learn your high school's attendance policy, okay? Learn it well. If you have questions, because it took me till like my sophomore year to really understand that it was per semester and not the entire year. So learn it, ask questions if you are truly confused, and prioritize. Like if you are missing school, email your teacher, be it because you're sick or you're out in surgery, whatever, or you need a mental health day. Literally just say, email your teacher if you did any assignments. If you didn't, that's okay. Like if you're sick, you need rest, don't overwhelm yourself trying to do your schoolwork. Just don't, okay? If you're missing school for whatever reason, don't try to overwhelm yourself with the schoolwork. Maybe get 1 or 2 assignments done, but if you truly just choose not to, that is okay. But at least email your teacher, say, dear da 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 da, I've been out for this reason, okay? You can sort of lie. If you're just like, oh, I'm on vacation, you can just lie and say you were out sick. I mean, you can. And you just say, I'm out for whatever this reason, I haven't been able to do the assignments, or I've been prioritizing my rest, and talk about making up time, like with a tutoring session or just a makeup time session, and talk about that, because that really does help you from doing deficiency school, which is basically the same thing. You're just sitting there doing any missing work you have to make up time. Like when I did deficiency school, the one time I did it, it was 3 hours, because I had like 12 hours to make up. So I was like doing it the entire week, but the entire session would be 3 hours. So I would be there from till 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is not fun. You don't want to be stuck at your school that late, unless you have a club or a sport. You don't want to do that. So my biggest thing is focus on your attendance, and so that way you don't have to repeat any of your classes like me, because I'm gonna have to repeat PE this year. So okay, but tip, remember, get something that you can wipe yourself off if you're super sweaty in PE, and then go in with deodorant and then your cologne. Sunscreen, because sometimes you're gonna go outside, and in general you should be wearing sunscreen every day. Ever since I started wearing sunscreen regularly, look at my skin, look glowy, okay? Trust me. wear your sunscreen every day, full body, unless you're wearing all sleeves, like if you're fully covered, but you should be wearing this on your face, your neck, whatever. It's really thundering out there, sorry. Nail file. Sometimes I break my nails at school. My nails tend to get very long, and sometimes I break my nails at school, or so it's good to file them down so they don't hurt. That's what I personally do. A hand sanitizer. Have a hand sanitizer. Personally, I wash my hands a lot, and there's been so many times where I've went to the bathroom, like I remember one time, it was freshman year. I went to the bathroom beside the gym, because there's a bathroom beside the gym, because we couldn't go to the bathroom in the locker room because like they lock the locker room once we're outside of it, which is stupid. But so I went to the bathroom outside the gym. The toilet, like the doors didn't work, there was no toilet paper, so I went to this other bathroom that was a bit across the way. Guess what? It had no freaking soap. It had toilet paper, but it had no soap, so I had to go to a different bathroom to wash my hands, and that wasn't very fun. So like I could use the bathroom in one bathroom, get toilet paper, and then there'd be no soap. So I highly suggest do that, okay? Wash your hands when you can, because schools are disgusting, and you don't want, especially if you're eating throughout the day, which I highly recommend, bring snacks, bring a good lunch, because I know some people, they have like 8 classes in a day. If you don't have lunch till like before 5th period, bring a snack to eat in like 3rd period. Eat a breakfast, bring a good healthy lunch, or just bring a lunch in general. I don't care if it's healthy or not. Bring a lunch in general if you can, or if your school has lunch available. I personally don't eat my school lunch, or if there's a lot of vending machines, whatever. Like my school, we have a culinary program, and sometimes the culinary program, they serve like pizzas and chicken alfredo, and they bake all these things, which is super awesome, and they like serve them every week or so, and you pay for it. It's like $6 per thing, but it's good food, and so that's something I look forward to almost every week. And there was also a canteen where they serve like chips, pops, or sodas, whatever, candy, stuff like that. And there's also the cafeteria, and then every now and then we have like vending machines come through, not vending machines, like what are they called, food trucks. Sometimes there are like food trucks, like we have like Kona Ice and like ice cream trucks, stuff like that, they come through. So I would highly suggest, like in high school, you're gonna spend a lot of money. You're gonna spend a lot of money, so if you don't already have a job, good luck. But it really depends. Like if you eat school lunch, bring food from home, bring snacks. I mainly either bring snacks or I get them from the vending machine. There's lots of gas stations near my school. There's a Sonic, there's a Wendy's, there's a Subway, there's a Food Lion near my school. So I'm just saying, if you like know the area your school is in, because sometimes, especially if you plan on doing like after school activities, you can just walk and go get you something. Like you don't want to be spending your time eating fast food entirely, but if you do like a club, or if you do like a sport and you're hungry, I would highly suggest go ahead and just get like go to whatever locations are available near you to school, and gas stations, like stuff like that. Just know the area you're in and know what you can do. Like bring your lunch with you if that's something you enjoy. Get your lunch from school. Good. If your school has a canteen, do it. Take advantage of the opportunities that you have to get food, because you're gonna get hungry. You're gonna get very hungry, and especially when you're doing a lot of work and you're sitting in a class for an hour to an hour and a half. It's not fun. So especially if you have PE, you're gonna be starving. So I also have my gum. I got a packet of like 6 of these extra gums that my mom got me, and so I have like enough for the entire year. But these is spearmint. I like this one. I also like the other ones, but I highly suggest you bring lots of gum with you. People will ask. I have a little mirror. I don't wear that much makeup. I mainly wear like mascara and lip and like blush. That's really it. That's my entire makeup routine. So, but I do have a little makeup bag that I can bring with me. And then obviously if you're a girl, bring whatever supplies you need. Bring whatever supplies you plan on using on your period, and then a lotion. You're gonna need it. Umbrella. Please bring an umbrella. Please, because the last thing you want to do is be walking home from like your bus stop and you don't have your umbrella, or you're walking into school, you don't have an umbrella, or you have to go outside and you know it's gonna rain, but your teacher doesn't care and wants to keep you outside. Keep your umbrella. I've used this so many times. Just keep your umbrella. Just keep it on you. And also, it's a good self-defense mechanism, because if anyone tries to, you know, come up at you, you just go, and then you, so, or you could, if it's like a guy trying to come up on you, you could just be like, you could literally just be like, into the balls. So, just saying. That's those pockets. I don't have much in this pocket. I have my keys. I have this Iowa State thing because my brother, he used to go to Iowa State, but then, yeah, failed. A K-State because K-State is my dream school, and as well as K-State lanyard. You didn't see that, but the thing is, also for your, I have to say, for your school photos, they will try to whitewash you if you're pale. Like I don't know if you can see this, but like that was me my freshman year. I was so pale, but they literally whitewashed me. And then having like, so I highly suggest, if you can make yourself darker, do it, because they will use flash. They will use flash when taking your school photos. So if you can make yourself a lot darker, please do so. I got tape. I have a whiteout. Please use a whiteout, especially if you're using pens regularly. I have my glasses. I have my stapler, and then I have like a few flashcards in here. I have band-aids, an extra eraser, an extra hand sanitizer, and that's it. So this video is getting really long, but my biggest tips, especially if this is like your first year, ask for help. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because, like, example, so it was the end of last year and we were wondering when we had to turn in our Chromebooks, because they hadn't made an announcement. Like, it was getting towards the end of the year, almost to last week. People had to turn in their Chromebooks. My friend, she was taking an online class over the summer, and she needed to know how she needed to turn in her Chromebook, or if she had to keep it. And we just needed to know. And like, so there's this admin I didn't like, but she was there at lunch, so I went up and I asked her those questions, and I also asked her about the attendance, because, you know, sometimes they're like, oh, well, they don't count attendance on the last week of school, because, like, they count it, but they don't count it, so that way, because they know people are going to be, like, on vacation and everything, so it's like they'll count if people aren't there, they have to, but it's like, it's not gonna like go but onto your attendance record that you missed that school. And that's very important for the people who especially have to do deficiency school, or if you're like in the part where you're starting to struggle, like, are you gonna have to like make up your classes, redo them, whatever, if you're really worried about your attendance. So that's what I went and I asked her, when do we have to turn in our Chromebooks, and if they're really counting the attendance the last week. And she answered both of the questions for me, and a question my friend had, and I was very thankful. And I was able to turn in my Chromebook literally like after I took my AP test, which was not that wild, which was like very, very soon. I was able to turn in my Chromebook just like then, it was awesome. So I highly suggest that you ask for help, especially if you didn't like. I remember my freshman year, we had like our orientation like the week before school started, like the Friday before school started, and I forgot the entire layout of the school. So it's okay, ask, because usually they have like teachers, admin that are out in the hall. Don't ask other students. Trust me, most of them are just like, don't mess with me, I'm trying to figure this out on my own. Ask the admin, ask the teachers, because they know that you're gonna be lost. So ask them, ask the hallways, ask, like, just ask for help. And especially if you're unsure, like I remember last year, I don't know if they changed my bus route or if my bus driver was different, and so I went and I asked an admin, and he looked it up and he was like, no, it's still the same thing. And I was like, thank you. Honestly, this year I don't know if I'm gonna ask again. I'm probably just gonna go out to the bus loop and like go to the bus and then see if they take my route still, and then just get on. And if they don't, I'll just call my dad, and then I'll ask the next day, like the second day of school. That's what I'll figure it out. But because sometimes they do change your bus route. So if you are worried about, you don't know your bus, ask. You don't know your homeroom teacher, ask. You don't know like certain, like, ask your teachers. If the teachers don't know, ask your admin if you see them in the hall. Okay, be sure of it. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, especially like last year I had an issue with one of my classes, because like I was getting really pissed off with all my classmates because they were like insane. So I reported my class. Like, my parents, they went for me. But like, go to your guidance counselor if you're having an issue with your class, even if it doesn't become the point where you're like moving the class. Like, it was my French class, and a lot of the kids in my class were like were so disruptive and being very disrespectful to my teacher, and it was becoming like a hazard. Like, a fight almost broke out one day, and so I was like, I just have to report my class. And I reported my class, and it got the admin involved, and it did help for a while. not in the long run, but it helped for a while. And it's just, it doesn't matter what reason, go to your guidance counselor if you can. Mainly if you're having issues with other people. It doesn't have to be a personal issue with you, but it really depends. Like, just be able to report stuff, or speak out for yourself. Okay, don't allow yourself to be disrespected, don't allow your peers to be disrespected. Call it out. Okay, you don't have to be super big and boisterous about it. Call it out. I didn't tell anyone in my class that I had reported them. I didn't tell them, but it was very important to understand that, I needed to stand up for myself, and you need to do that too. Another thing is, if you're not gonna know a lot of people, especially if you go to a big school, my school has like over 2,000 people and more coming. So I'm just saying, you're not gonna know everyone in your grade unless you went to middle school with a lot of them. Okay, you're not gonna know everyone in your grade, and you're not gonna know everyone in your school. Even if you're the one who joins a lot of clubs or joins all the sports teams, you're not gonna know everyone, and that's fine. And you're gonna hear drama about people that you don't know, and you're gonna be like, I don't know if I have an opinion on them, or if I can make an opinion on them. That's okay. It's like, you make the friends that you want to keep close. Okay, make the friends you want to keep close. Maintain the relationships that you want to keep close, but stop expecting that you're gonna be friends with everyone. You're not. There's people that were apparently the most popular people in my school, and I had no idea who they were. I may have seen their faces around in the hall, but I don't know them. So understand that people aren't gonna know who you are, really. Okay, a lot of people aren't. A lot of people may, but a lot of people aren't as well. So understand that not everyone's gonna know you. You're not gonna know everyone. And also, when it comes to like drama and everything, you're gonna hear stuff about people you don't know. And when it comes to that, be very empathetic on your opinion. Like, if you're hearing someone do something spat, like, you say you hearing something about a guy who spat on this girl in his class, like, you'd be like, okay, he sounds like a, you know, he doesn't sound like a nice guy, but you know, it's like, I don't know him enough or know why he did that enough to make an opinion on him, because I don't know this guy. You may know this guy, but I don't know him, so I can't really make an opinion. So when it comes to your relationship with like gossip, people always say stay out of drama. Stay in as much drama as you want. Okay, that's the thing. If you want to be involved in drama, go ahead. If you want to be involved in drama that isn't including you, go ahead. If you want to listen to other people's drama, go ahead. But set your boundaries. Like, my thing this year, there's plenty of people that already piss me off at school, but am I gonna go out of my way to gossip about them over super petty stuff? No, because that's just gonna piss me off more. And if they actually do something that is very irritating, I'm not gonna gossip about that, because that will make me more pissed off. And the thing is, I'm trying to minimize my stress, and I don't want to hear stuff that pisses me off about a person that already pisses me off, you know? So, and it doesn't mean I won't ever gossip this year. I probably will, about people I don't know. I probably will. But the thing is, not everything's a gossiping mood. So I may not want to gossip today, so go gossip with someone else. If you have the juice to share it, but it's not going to be me today. Or I don't want to be gossiping about petty stuff. Tell me if they actually do something that's very important, or if their behavior is something that is actually like, this person shouldn't be here, you know, with that sort of behavior. They should not be acting that sort of behavior onto other people, you know? That is the important thing. So understand your minimal, like, if you don't want gossip or drama at all, you don't have to. If you want a little bit, you can go on and have it. If you want a lot of drama, go on and have it. But it doesn't have to be your entire life, and it doesn't have to be your entire personality, and it should not be your entirety of your friendships. If you feel like you and your friends are just gossiping pettily about random people all the time, just say, hey, this is kind of getting annoying. Like, let's talk about something else. You know, give yourself a limit. It's like, if you have something juicy to share, go ahead, share it for no more than 10 to 15 minutes. After that point, we're moving on with our conversation. Set your boundaries. Be clear about what you want in your friendships, what you want in your interpersonal relationships, and how you want to interact with the people that annoy you. Be careful with that, okay? So that's my advice. Understand your limits on gossip and drama. Just understand that. Set your boundaries. Okay, if you don't want to be hyper involved, don't be hyper involved. And also have humility. Understand that some people, they may have not meant it that way, but it doesn't mean that what they said is okay, you know? Understand that. So give people grace if you truly choose to. Okay, if that is something you're comfortable with, giving them grace. Another thing, learn how to do a good email. A good email is okay. Like, the main parts of an email that you need is an introduction, which mainly what I personally use is dear teacher's name. Okay, so like, say dear Mrs. Smith, okay, and then do a comma, and then you enter, and then you enter again, and then you do a tab, and then you start writing. So if like you miss school, you say, thank you for your patience. I've been out because I've been having severe migraines and I'm trying to get it assessed with a doctor, or I'm trying to get in. And then say if you've done any assignments, like say I finished the essay on, you know, Macbeth. I did the essay on Macbeth, and I did the short story that you wanted us to do, and I submitted them. Okay, and then estimate the time you plan on being back. So like if you miss like Thursday and Friday of school, estimate that you'll hopefully, just say hopefully is a big key word. Say hopefully I should be back next week, and thank you for your patience again. Be there, and then I hope, and then when I get back, can we discuss the possibility of me making up my time that I missed? That, and then sincerely your name. Sincerely your name. Then you submit the email and you're good. And if you end up missing more, like if you don't come back that next Monday, and you may think you may not come back till like Wednesday or something, like say you're getting your migraines assessed and like on Tuesday at the doctor, and you may not go back on until Wednesday, then do an updated email saying the same stuff, and that sorry that I wasn't able to make it back today. I thought I would. I'm probably gonna be able to make it back on Wednesday. That's how you should be setting up your emails, okay? That's what you do if you're missing. Now, if you need an extension, you start the same thing, dear da 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 da, enter again, do a tab, and then you go on, you discuss, like say you're doing a project on sharks, okay? You're doing a research paper on sharks. 2 of your sources are available. Your third one has been blocked by the district. Say, because that happens a lot, okay? Say, and it's very vital to tie in all your research together, because it's like if like the second source was about environmental impacts that sharks have, and then your third source is about like shark poaching, and your shark poaching source is blocked, then you need to find another source like it that is credible. Ask for an extension, explain the issue that you're having. That's just an example. Explain the issue you are having in in the assignment that you need an extension on, be it you have more questions, be it you need more time to write your thoughts out, you are struggling to find sources, or your sources are, coming up dry, whatever your issue is. Explain your issue, explain your reasoning, estimate the amount of time. If you feel like you can find a good source in like a day or two and be able to write out the part of the research that you need and to finish your essay or whatever, your research paper, in like a week, then estimate, I'm hoping that I can get it done by the end of the week or in a week's time. Estimate the time that, if you think it will take you 2 weeks, estimate that. But can we discuss this in class? Discuss this in person, because they'll hopefully be giving you more grace in person, okay, than over email. And you can discuss more like your concerns, and they can discuss their concerns if they don't feel like that. Don't abuse the extension thing. Truly do it if you feel you need more time to set out your thoughts, especially if you did miss school and this is an assignment you really do need like an extension on. Do so, but don't be afraid to ask for an extension. It's very helpful, it's very useful. Please follow your school's dress code. I know I may get hate for that, but look, I've seen so many pretty girls at my school. There's so many pretty girls, and I love their outfits, and they're so adorable, and they're so cute, and they're so pretty. And I've seen so many of them get their light dimmed because an admin or a teacher that was super harsh about their dress code hunted them down. Like, I'm not even joking. There was this one girl, I remember, I think it was my freshman year, there was this one girl, she was literally, it was during my lunch period, she was wearing these like pink like leggings, and they were really cute, but they were definitely sheer. And the thing is, sometimes with like sheer clothing, you can't tell unless it's like in natural light, because sometimes there have been moments where I've been wearing something and I'm trying to see if it's sheer, but it depends on if it's like overhead lighting or if it's like natural light. It will totally mess everything up. But because it was like there's these big windows that look into the courtyard, so it looked like all this natural light was coming through, so it looked very sheer. And there was 2 admin talking to her about her outfit, and one of them, this is the admin I mentioned earlier that I disliked, she went, "You don't want to show everyone everything, don't ya?" Not fun. And she looked visibly like she was shocked. She was shocked, she was upset, she looked uncomfortable. And the thing is, the discipline office, which is like where they take people like for dress code, was literally 10 feet away. They just had to walk her over there, and it's like in a tucked away corner of the school, so it's like it's a very tucked away hallway. So they could have just took her there and talked to her about it and say, you know, it looks very sheer in the sunlight and you probably didn't notice, like give her grace, and then just say like you may need a change or like wear something to cover it up a bit, whatever. But that was so heartbreaking. And even then, the same admin has been known to hunt down girls for like showing even the sliver of their stomach. Meanwhile, there are girls with like their tube tops, and you know, she'll just run down the girls with the slightest sliver of tummy out, and they walk by all these other girls that have the exact same thing. And especially because I live in South Carolina, and if you know anything, it's hot. So there's like moments, like last spring, there's one girl in my class, she was wanting to wear a tube top, and she couldn't take, and she had to wear a heavy jacket. And we went out, like our class, we had like free time, so we went out and we played wiffle ball with some other class. But it wasn't until we went outside and we were far tucked away from the school, like on the field, that she took her jacket off because it was hot. And it makes no sense to wear a dark navy jacket over a tube top in like 90-degree weather. It makes no sense. So I'm just saying, follow the dress code as much as you can. You're gonna have your moments, but my tip is, especially when it comes to like tank tops, dresses that show like your back, tops that show your back, whatever, invest in shawls. Okay, it doesn't have to be a heavy jacket, and it's good for like warmer weather. Invest in a nice shawl. They're very cutesy, they are very lightweight, they allow some breathability, and they also cover you up, and they can keep you warm in like that one class that has the AC way too high. So invest in some shawls this year, especially if you want to wear like your tube tops and all that. Invest in that, cover up a bit. Okay, it's good. You can still have cute outfits that fit within your dress code. I've had short dresses that I still make sure fit in the dress code. It's like, trust me, you can find cute outfits that fit in your dress code, and even then you can wear your tube tops, you can wear your triangular tops, you can wear all those cute little tops, but you just have to find a way to, you know, cheat the system. And I highly suggest, if you know your outfit is sort of breaking the dress code, avoid the teachers and the admin that are going to be harp on it, especially like just try and avoid them as much as possible. Hide behind other people in the halls if you know they're there. Do it, okay? Please, just like if you're gonna break the dress code, hide it as easily as possible, and bring a backup pair of clothes. If you know like one day you really want to just like break the dress code, bring like a backup t-shirt or something, or like a backup, like just bring a backup, because you don't want to, some of these things you don't want to be going to the lost and found to use some of these clothes, because you know they don't wash them. So just saying. And some of these teachers and these admin will literally dress code you an hour before school ends, or like 30 minutes till school ends. So trust me, just avoid them as much as possible. Okay. But yeah, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. One thing I do have a tip is, when it comes to textbooks, ask about the textbooks the very first day of school, because that's the day you're usually gonna go over your syllabus. Okay, but on the very first day, ask if your class has a textbook. Mainly like science classes will. If they have a textbook, if the textbooks are individual or a class set, that's very important. If they're an individual set, you need to make sure you have room in your bag to take it to and from school. If it's a class set, you need to ask because sometimes, like I took forensics last year, my sophomore year. Yes, we have a forensics class. It's only one, but I took that, and we had a class set of textbooks, but she would have us take notes on like a chapter, and that would be like what our quizzes would be based off of. But sometimes you wouldn't get all your notes in class. So what I did was I asked sometimes if I could take the textbook home, because especially with phone bans, because I know a lot of schools are phone bans, you're not going to be able to, if your teacher is cool with you just taking a quick photo of the rest of the chapter, go ahead. But if they aren't and they really don't want your phone out, ask if you could just take the textbook home. And you could do this for any class. Like, even if you aren't taking notes on the textbook chapter, if you just need like clarification, ask to take it home if that's available and how they do that, like the system that they want that in. But another thing is also ask, like, especially if there's an online version of the textbook, and for them to show where the online version of the textbook is, because there's been times where they don't show you where the online textbook is until like 2 weeks into school, and we've been needing to use the textbook, and or people will literally forget like 3 months later. So I highly suggest you ask the first day of school, so that way at least you know. And don't be afraid to go to your library. I didn't check out like any books with my library card, but I know a lot of people, they study in the library. They mainly do testing at my school's library, so it's like most of the time people can't go in the library to do, but I know when people do, they either go into lunch or they go to do work or finish assignments in class. Just ask your teacher if you can go to the library and do your work there. It's okay. Just ask. Use your library. Please use the library as much as you can. Yeah, it's just like for phones. Okay, if your school is wasting all the money that they are getting from taxpayers to get those thousands of dollars little phone lockers, don't, okay? There's, especially in high school, there's so many reasons why you have your phone. Okay, I'm not talking about social media, I'm saying safety reasons, okay? When you're like doing an after school sport and you can't drive yet, and you need to call and make sure someone's coming to pick you up, you need to have that. And mainly it applies for like the school hours in the day, but you need to have your phone, and you can't and you need to apply yourself. So if your teacher has certain rules, like, okay, I know you're not supposed to use phones during school, but I'm gonna let you use them during my class for whatever specific reason with my permission, but I will, round them up if you're being irresponsible. Follow the rules. Just follow the rules as much to capacity as you can. But schools that are more stricter, what I highly suggest is you just keep your phone locked, shut off, in your bag, in a safe place, in a safe compartment. Same with your headphones. Just keep them off, keep them put away. And if they ever say, it's like, understand that it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money for them to put your phone in a little locker when you could just put it in your bag safely away. Set yourself in as an example. Make sure that your teachers can trust you. Just like, if when that first bell rings and if you know your school already has like the no phone policy that they're trying to implement this year, whatever, what you do is that first day when the bell rings for school, and you're in class, just take it off, put it away in your phone, turn it off. Show that you already are trying to balance yourself, that you're trying to, discipline yourself on that. Show that, even if you are like, I just need my phone, at least try and show that, so that way your teacher is more likely to be like, okay. It's like, it's like, if you guys can truly handle just putting it away in your bag and paying attention, then you're not gonna have to use these little lockers. At least try. At least try and show an example. Trust me, it's like, and if you really have to, just, there are other tips, but it's like, I understand why everyone's on your phone, okay? I'm on it all the time, but in class, I highly suggest that, especially if you're like listening to music, invest in like headphones for like your iPad or your Chromebook, whatever your school uses, if they haven't blocked YouTube, and just listen to as much music as you can there, and so that way you can at least enjoy your time, okay, during your free time, okay? And just be respectful to your teachers and their personal rules, okay, because they are just trying their best. And let's be honest, by the end of the school year, they're not gonna give a crap. They're not gonna give a shit at all. Like, my AP teacher, he didn't care if we were on our phones the last, like, 3 weeks of school after we finished our AP test. He didn't care because it was so easy to get done. And same thing with, like, my forensics teacher. Like, literally the last month of school, we did, like, nothing. We were just on our phones and everything, even though we weren't supposed to be. She just let us and everything. So, just saying, depends on your teachers, depends on how lax they are. But, and then with my school, like, it's the entire day. Like, you can't be on your phone, not even during lunch. So I highly suggest investing in, like, coloring sheets. People do that, books, puzzles, whatever you can bring available to you, that to keep you entertained. Make lots of friends during your lunch period. Like just specific, like, lunch period friends helps a lot. Like, I just would talk with my friends on the bench as we ate lunch rather than be on my phone for, like, the last half of the semester when after they implemented the phone ban. So just find other ways to do all that. But most of the stuff you can figure out. Like, syllabus, the main thing with your syllabus, all you need to know is what is counting towards what. Like, if your homework grade counts like 35% to your overall grade, like, you need to know what is counting. And then also your teacher's personal information, that is what's going to be in the syllabus 99% of the time. Write down your teacher's emails so that way it's easier for you, because you will forget, and if you throw away the syllabus, you're not going to remember it. Okay, so write down their emails. They also have their work numbers. You can write those down if you choose. Do that. And also just, but mostly in syllabus, they'll have, like, the general policies, like the rules of, like, the school, and they will also have, like, few class rules. Just mark down, like, highlight the ones that are, like, very specific to the teacher. Like, the phone policy is gonna be, like, this whole school wide, okay? The dress code policy, the, late policy is gonna be tends to be school wide, and or it can be more personal. But stuff like you can't eat in class at all, that's gonna be, like, a very personal thing to the teacher. So don't worry much about your syllabus. You'll go over it, you can ask questions, but those are the main advice that I have. It's just, you don't have to stress out. That's the thing, you don't have to stress out. It's high school, it's not that much, okay? Whether you choose to join lots of clubs and lots of sports and be super involved, or you choose not to do crap, that's fine. If you choose to not make as many friends and prioritize just, like, super close friendships with, like 1 or 2 people, or you prioritize making as many friends with as many people as possible, that's fine. Whatever you choose to do so, but prioritize yourself mainly. Don't prioritize your friendships and your romantic relationships yet. Crazy thing, but listen, you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to appreciate yourself, and you have to appreciate the hard work you do before everything. I'm not saying you can't have friendships, not saying you can't be in a romantic relationship. It's just those should not be your priority in high school, okay? Those shouldn't be your main priority. Your main priority should always be you, okay? It's like, because you will meet toxic people. You will meet toxic people in relationships and friendships, and you need to be able to stand up for yourself. You need to be able to set boundaries for yourself. If you can't do that, then you're not going to have any of those relationships that you want. You're not going to be able to have them. You need to have a good relationship with yourself before you that needs to be your priority, because that is the main foundation to any other relationship. If you do not have a good relationship with yourself, you're not going to have a good relationship with your friends. If you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you're not going to have a good relationship with a partner. You're not going to be able to do that. And having a good relationship with yourself will keep the insecure people away from you, okay? Cutting off the insecure people, setting boundaries with insecure people will save you, because those people are gonna be the ones that try to bring you down, okay? And by insecure people, everyone has insecurities, but the people that purposely make their insecurities the gateway into getting into your life and taking you down as a person, those are the people that I'm talking about. So focus on yourself. That is your main priority. Your second main priority should be your grades. Even if you don't know what you're gonna do after high school, even if you don't know if you want a job or what, if you want to go to college, doesn't matter, okay? Your main priority should be graduating. It could be you get C's the entire year of high school and you just pass that way. If you're just barely passing and you still graduate, that's good, okay? The main priority should be at least graduating. Don't drop out unless you absolutely have to. But even then, please prioritize getting your GED after you drop out. I'm saying, well, I know a lot of people, they drop out for plenty of reasons, but if you do plan on dropping out eventually, I know some people are like, why are you talking about dropping out in a back to school video? But so many people, they go through the year and then they drop out, and that's fine, okay? And there's plenty of reasons why they do that, to take care of their family, a job, kids. I know plenty of you probably have kids, and that's okay. But I'm sure there are plenty of young girls and young guys that are teen parents, and the thing is, if you choose to drop out, if you choose to not pursue your education further for now, please look into getting your GED in the future, a high school diploma, or just knowing that you have a high school education does matter, and it can bring you a long way, okay? You don't have to go to college, you don't have to have a major big career, but please look into at least getting your high school degree. It will save your life. It will save your life, and it will set a good example for your kids, for your friends, for your family, showing that you still care about your education, even if you care about them a lot. You have to care about that's something that you should want to do for yourself. Finish your education for yourself. That is what you should. But your priority in general should be yourself throughout life, but especially in high school, it should be yourself if you want to be able to accomplish the goals you want and to build the relationships you want. But that was my school haul. That was my advice. You're gonna be okay. It's freshman year, sophomore year, hell, it's the rest of high school. It's gonna be fine. And this may not have been the best video I've ever made, and it's really freaking long, but understand that it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. High school's gonna be fine. You're gonna make it through. Prioritize yourself, okay? Your work is you don't have to spend hours studying after school. Get as much done as you can at school. Study a bit after school. Don't let it consume you. Let you be you. But also don't let your social life consume you. You shouldn't have to go out every night. You can want to, but you shouldn't have to do that and overwhelm yourself with that. Prioritize you in the capacity that you're comfortable with. Understand that. So don't try to stress yourself out. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna meet people. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna achieve the stuff you want. You're gonna be okay. Don't stress about it. Worry about what school supplies that you specifically need. It doesn't have to be what I got, what you specifically need. Just be chill. Be kind. Stand up for yourself. Set boundaries. Be appreciative, give grace. That's it. So